My name is Letitia Frye, and I am a professional auctioneer that specializes in nonprofit fundraising, but they actually call me an auctioneer. I started volunteering at a camp for children, pediatric children with cancer, and I've been a camp counselor for 10 years at that camp. When I first started doing it, I did it because I had an auction coming up having to do with oncology, and I wanted a better look into it. But that experience at that camp with those children changed my entire perspective of how I do my job. I always put myself before I'm going to speak on behalf of anything, and I don't even necessarily mean with a product endorsement. If I'm going to tell you to help these children in Haiti, then I'll tell you I've been there. If I'm going to tell you to invest in St. Jude, it's because I can tell you where your money's going. So the same thing is said when somebody tells me about something they're doing that's working. I want to know, and if I'm going to tell a young girl who's 15 or 16 who's lost her hair about an idea or perhaps a treatment path, having had hair loss my whole life, I'm going to try it. So for me, I have been diagnosed, or was diagnosed in 1996 with Graves' disease. Anyone with a thyroid disease realizes that although you may have had a beautiful head of hair that hung all the way down your back when you were a child, due to the hormonal influxes and changes in Graves' disease, radioactive iodine, I lost almost all of my hair. You know, it took a while for me to accept it. I'm not sure what it is, particularly with women, how we identify that a healthy, vibrant, fertile female has something to do with a head of hair. But for me, it also, I'm on stage, I'm performing, I was expected to look a certain way. It became an enormous insecurity. So when I hear of something that could possibly help, really I wasn't in it for myself. But if I've tried all of those things and I have these young girls that I'm their counselor, and when they're dealing with hair loss, here I'm feeling rather sensitive about a thinning or loss of long hair. They have no eyebrows, they have no eyelashes, they have no body hair. Feels rather selfish on my part, but if I'm going to find something that's going to work, I'm going to go try it. At 10:45 in the morning on Thanksgiving, I stopped and saw a car who stopped. Two cars coming towards us, and I assumed that he knew that I was about to get in the crosswalk, but unfortunately he was a young man on his way to meet his girlfriend's parents for the first time and was late. And he made a judgment call to gun it while I got into the crosswalk and threw me about 15 feet up in the air into oncoming traffic, and I landed on my head and split my head open. I went to a level 1 trauma unit, and I had staples. Well, first they shaved my head. From what I can recall, everything is kind of fuzzy from that point on. They shaved my head, which I could care less. All that time spent worrying about your hair, you'll quickly find when your head is split open, please take it all. I had my head stapled shut, and basically thought maybe I could just go back to the rest of my life. And then realized I was gonna have to regrow my hair literally from scratch because the back of my head was bald. When I came to you, when it came down to my hair, and you told me, okay, these are the days, these are the times, this is the product you use in the morning, this is the shampoo, this is the conditioner, you gave me an outline. The same way that when I went to my therapist, she said, okay, I need you to do this exercise at home and this exercise at home, and you need to wear prism lens glasses in the day, and you have to balance bean bags on your head. I was willing to follow it. And the most comforting part is that if you follow it, you will get better. Same thing with my hair. I had a program. It was a goal. If you followed this, you will see that. And it gave me hope. And I think that one thing that this all comes back to, whatever your situation is, and maybe it's just that you've had thinning hair your whole life. Maybe it's hereditary. Maybe you have a thyroid disease. You're a current cancer patient, or in my case, you've been struck by a car. Whatever your reasons are, there is a solution, but you have to also understand the mere idea of hope. So I started using the cap thinking I was doing it for, you know, I'm gonna tell these girls how it works in October. I was hit by that car in November. So it was about 3.5 to 4 weeks of me following the program and really kind of not even really paying attention, not having high hopes or aspirations. It's kind of funny because I was always the person, when you're on stage, and I think that celebrities have a conscious responsibility for this. I'm soon going to be 46 in a couple months. I am not someone to tell you, this is my hair if I have extensions in, or anything along those lines. And I think it's a travesty if we do, because then you have a young girl or someone that's really trying to emulate something that's not even real. So I have now become the shout it from the rooftop. I'm wearing a cap that brings light onto my head and my hair is growing. And the funniest thing is, when you are in an intimate small hair salon where everybody knows each other, they're all following my progress. This has become a bit like everyone's cheering for that racer that's coming, running around the world. So I shout it from the rooftops now and tell anyone that will listen. And now my friends all want to know. And it's funny because they all kind of quietly watched on the sideline. And when you have staples in your head and your head's been shaved, everybody tries to act like, oh no, you look great. They mean well. But then when they start seeing your hair going, they go, so what are you doing? When I put my hands through it, sometimes I go, wow, that's my hair. It was also the texture of my hair has changed, the way it's growing and how strong it is. And for once, I'm not cleaning my drains. My drains don't have hair in it. My hair brushes don't have hair to pull out of it. Where am I not going to share that with everyone I know? 30 minutes. I mean, if you really were to time out what it takes for you to brush your teeth, grab a cup of coffee, or have a breakfast, it's 30 minutes. If you agree to put that cap on during that time period, for me, I know that I'm going to get 30 minutes of exercise at least 6 days a week. So that cap generally is on my head while I exercise. So I think that you have to ask yourself, do you have 30 minutes? And the answer is you do.